She won't tell you her love is fading. She'll show you in whispers, in silence, in the way her laughter sounds borrowed. One day she looks at you the same way she looks at a picture she's already seen 100 times, familiar, but no longer moving. Most men miss it until the story's already over. But tonight, I'll tell you the truth, every woman hides behind "I'm fine." Before we begin, hit subscribe, tap like, and tell me in the comments. What city are you watching from? Let's see where the smartest men in the world are listening tonight. Sign 1. Her effort turns into efficiency. It doesn't happen overnight. One day she's laughing while cooking dinner, asking how your day went, checking in with warmth. Then suddenly it's different. The dinner's still there, the text still comes, but something vital is missing, the spark. What was once affection now feels like automation. She's still doing everything right, but it's all mechanical. You ask how her day was, and she answers, busy, as usual. No story, no laughter, just a report. Her good morning texts become shorter, her voice messages vanish, and even her hugs. They feel like a formality now, not comfort. You start to wonder if you're imagining it, but you're not. You're witnessing the first phase of fading love, emotional withdrawal disguised as competence. Women don't stop caring by quitting. They stop caring by optimizing. She used to cook because she wanted to share something with you. Now she does it because it needs to be done. She used to ask about your day because she wanted connection. Now it's just maintenance. Her tone shifts from nurturing to neutral. Her warmth turns into routine. And here's the cruel part. She'll seem more put together than ever. Friends will say, "She's so focused lately," or "She's really got her life in order." They'll praise her balance, not realizing that her new balance comes from removing you from her emotional center. Gossip detail, her best friend notices it first. She mentions over coffee. She's really streamlined her life lately. No drama, no overthinking. What she doesn't see is that the no drama is really no feeling. She's trimming away everything that reminds her of what's gone dull, including you. Psychologically, this is called attachment fatigue, when emotional connection turns into emotional effort. She's not angry, she's tired. Tired of trying to feel what she used to feel. So she shifts gears from affection to efficiency, from romance to rhythm. And the scary part, you'll almost prefer it at first. She's calmer, more stable, less reactive. You'll think, finally, some peace. But peace built on detachment isn't peace. It's quiet disconnection. You'll start to feel it in the little things. The half-second delay in her laughter, the absence of follow-up questions, the way she says thank you like a cashier. Polite, detached, transactional. She's not cold yet. She's just efficient. And when a woman starts managing love like a to-do list, you're no longer in her heart. You're in her schedule. But what happens next is worse. Because when efficiency replaces effort, the next thing to fade is her patience. Sign 2. Her patience shrinks to silence. At first, you think things are improving. Fewer arguments, less tension, more calm. You tell yourself, she's finally relaxing. But what feels like peace is actually the sound of something dying. Her emotional investment. When a woman's love fades, she doesn't explode, she evaporates. The noise stops not because she's content, but because she's stopped believing her words make a difference. You'll notice it in small ways. She used to tell you what she needed. More attention, more help, more connection. Now, she just handles it herself. She doesn't remind you to take care of things, doesn't comment when you forget. She's not forgiving mistakes anymore. She's cataloging them silently. The shift is subtle, but it's lethal. She's not rolling her eyes or slamming doors. She's emotionally disengaging. Her tone is polite, controlled, even friendly. But underneath that calm is exhaustion. She's been through the same cycle too many times. Explain, hope, wait, repeat. And now she's reached the final stage, emotional resignation. Gossip detail. Her sister might say, "She seems so zen lately," or "She's not stressing like she used to." But that's because she's done caring enough to stress. Women don't stay quiet when they're happy. They stay quiet when they've stopped expecting change. You'll notice her reactions become flatter. You make a joke. She smiles, but the spark is gone. You share good news. She nods, distracted. You mess up. And instead of snapping, she says, "It's fine," with a softness that feels almost kind. But it's not kindness, it's detachment. Psychologically, this is called withdrawal tolerance. When the nervous system shuts down emotional engagement to protect itself, she's no longer reacting to you because you're no longer a source of emotional reward. You've become background noise, familiar, predictable, and safe to ignore. And here's the tragic irony. This stage feels peaceful to you and freeing to her. You think you've found stability. She knows she's found the exit. She stops offering feedback because feedback means she's still invested. She stops arguing because arguing means she still cares. The moment she stops explaining, you've already lost her attention. And her attention is love's oxygen. The silence that once felt comforting soon starts to ache. And when you finally ask, "What's wrong?" she'll whisper, "Nothing." And she'll mean it, because in her heart, there's nothing left to say. But silence isn't the end. It's the mask before the next sign appears, when her excuses start sounding a little too perfect. Sign 3. She creates emotional alibis. Now the silence has a cover story. She's not distant, she's busy. She's not avoiding, she's overwhelmed. Every absence, every quiet evening, every unread message suddenly has a tidy explanation attached. Work's been crazy. I just need some time to clear my head. I'm trying to focus on myself. At first, these sound reasonable. You want to believe her. After all, everyone needs space sometimes. But soon you'll notice a pattern. Her new space never includes you. She's not asking for time with you. She's asking for time away from you. That's the difference most men miss. This is where detachment starts to camouflage itself as self-care. She might start new habits, morning yoga, solo walks, journaling, hitting the gym alone. She's not doing anything wrong. She's just doing it without you. Her me time isn't about healing. It's about redefining herself without your influence. Gossip detail. A coworker might mention, "She's been staying late a lot lately, really putting in effort." Her best friend might say, "She's doing this new class every Thursday, really enjoying it." They all see growth. You see distance. And the more she explains her absences, the less real those explanations feel. Psychologically, this is called rationalized withdrawal. It's how the mind justifies pulling back without guilt. She doesn't want to be the bad one, so she builds an emotional alibi, a story that paints her distance as necessity, not rejection. "I just need balance," she'll say. But the balance she's finding doesn't include your weight anymore. And notice the tone. It's defensive, almost rehearsed. When you ask, "Why didn't you tell me you'd be late?" she'll respond, "Do I have to tell you everything?" That's not a question, that's a declaration. She's reclaiming autonomy, yes, but more importantly, she's rehearsing separation. You'll catch small inconsistencies too. The work meeting that runs late but leaves no trace on her calendar. The friend dinner that ends too early or too late. The phone flipped face down during me time. They're not proof of betrayal. They're proof of escape. She's emotionally slipping out of reach, one excuse at a time. And here's the cruel twist. She'll still act kind, still check in, still smile. Because detachment isn't always cold. Sometimes it's beautifully polite. But when her stories start sounding polished, and her tone starts sounding practiced, that's when you'll know. She's not managing her schedule anymore. She's managing her exit. And once she starts rehearsing her freedom, the next sign won't be about words at all. It'll be written in her eyes. Sign 4. Her words still sound loving. But her eyes don't match. This is the stage where confusion sets in. She still says, "I love you." She still signs her text with a heart emoji. She still gives you that quick goodbye kiss before work. But if you look closely, really look, her eyes tell a different story. They're not angry. They're absent. You'll start to feel something's off, but it's intangible. Her tone sounds right. Her gestures are familiar, but the emotion is gone. It's like hearing your favorite song played on a detuned piano. Recognizable, but hollow. She's not lying with her words. She's lying with her energy. You'll notice it in the micro moments. She smiles at your joke, but the smile stops halfway to her eyes. She says, "You're the best," but her voice drifts off before she finishes. When you tell her you love her, she responds automatically, the same way people say, "Thank you," to a cashier. It's a reflex, not a feeling. Gossip detail. Her friend might say, "She talks about you all the time, but she sounds neutral." That's the word you never want to hear. Neutral means detached. It means she's narrating your relationship, not living in it. Psychologically, this is called affective mismatch, when emotional expression no longer aligns with emotional truth. Women are masters at maintaining appearances, especially when they don't want to confront their own disconnection. So she'll keep performing love long after she's stopped feeling it. Not to deceive you, but to avoid deceiving herself. And here's the painful irony. You'll start clinging to these small gestures as proof that things are okay. She still says she loves me. She still holds my hand. You'll replay those crumbs of affection while ignoring the absence of warmth behind them. Because faithful men don't look for lies, they look for hope. But here's the rule she's now living by. When a woman's heart goes quiet, her habits become her disguise. Her "I love you" isn't comfort, it's habit. Her smile isn't reassurance, it's courtesy. And one day, you'll feel it clearly. Her eyes will meet yours, but they won't see you. They'll see a man she used to love, standing in the same place, saying the same words, trying to hold on to a version of her that no longer exists. Because once her eyes stop matching her words, the next thing she'll do is start building a world where you're no longer needed. Sign 5. She builds a life that doesn't need you. It starts with small, harmless choices. She joins a new book club, takes a weekend trip with friends, starts talking about finding herself again. You're proud at first. She's growing, right? But soon, that growth starts feeling like distance. Every new habit she forms seems to have one thing in common. You're not part of it. She used to ask your opinion before making plans. "Do you want to come?" Or, "What do you think about this?" Now she tells you after the fact. Her weekends fill up faster. Her evenings are suddenly booked. The rhythm of her life shifts just slightly out of sync with yours. And before you realize it, you're orbiting different schedules, different moods, different worlds. You'll notice she no longer waits for you to fix the leaky faucet or handle the errands. She just does it. Not to be efficient, but to prove something to herself. That she doesn't need you anymore. It's independence masquerading as empowerment, but really, it's emotional rehearsal. She's practicing life without your presence. Gossip detail. A friend might tease her. "You've been so productive lately. Look at you, doing everything on your own." She'll laugh and say, "Yeah, it feels good." What they don't see is that each new solo win is a quiet declaration of detachment. She's building a version of her identity that no longer depends on your love, approval, or help. Psychologically, this is autonomy displacement. When a woman replaces shared identity with personal independence as a form of emotional protection. It's not rebellion, it's insurance. She's making sure that when she finally walks away, her world doesn't collapse. You'll start hearing more sentences that begin with "I" and fewer with "we." "I might visit my sister next month." "I'm thinking of starting this course." "I need some time to focus on me." They're not requests, they're quiet announcements. And each one is a step away from the partnership you thought you still had. You'll try to reconnect, offer to help, suggest plans, remind her that you're a team, but she'll smile that polite, distant smile and say, "You don't have to." That line, "you don't have to," is the moment you realize you're no longer essential, and once a woman no longer needs you to function, she starts questioning why she needs you at all, because independence isn't the danger. It's what she builds next, the walls she starts guarding behind it, that will change everything. Sign 6. She defends her privacy like it's a right. At first, it's subtle. She moves her phone a little closer to her side of the bed. She changes her passcode. "Work stuff," she says. She starts locking her laptop when she walks away. You don't question it right away. Everyone values privacy. But there's a shift in tone, a tension you can't quite name. What used to be openness now feels like defense. Ask her a simple question. "Who are you talking to?" And she exhales sharply. "Why are you so paranoid?" That's not an answer. That's a deflection. What you're hearing isn't guilt. It's territorial energy. She's redrawing the emotional map of your relationship, and for the first time, you're not invited inside. She'll start labeling things as personal. Her phone, her journal, her weekend plans. It's not secrecy in the obvious sense. It's withdrawal disguised as independence. She's reclaiming control over her narrative piece by piece. And you'll feel it. That quiet wall rising between you, invisible but solid. Gossip detail. A friend might laugh and say, "She's so private now. She never tells me anything either." But that's not true. She's still talking, just not about you. When women emotionally disconnect, they don't stop sharing. They just redirect who they share with. Psychologically, this is boundary hardening. When affection fades, privacy becomes armor. She's not protecting her secrets. She's protecting her autonomy. The less you know, the safer she feels. The irony, you probably gave her that freedom. Faithful men believe in trust, in giving space, in not prying. But that same virtue now becomes your blind spot. You'll notice her defensiveness grows out of proportion. A harmless question becomes an argument. A casual observation becomes an accusation in her mind. She's not reacting to your words. She's reacting to her guilt for having something she no longer wants to explain. The saddest part? You'll start policing yourself. You'll stop asking questions, stop noticing changes, stop checking in, just to avoid another cold response. And that's how the wall becomes permanent. Not because she built it, but because you stopped trying to climb it. Her privacy is no longer about her space. It's about excluding you from her emotional truth. And when a woman starts guarding her peace like a secret, it's not peace anymore. It's distance in disguise. But privacy isn't her strongest defense, because the next sign isn't about what she hides. It's about who starts hiding for her. Sign 7. Her friends start acting different. You won't notice it right away. At first, it's just a tone change, shorter greetings, awkward smiles, that faint hesitation when they see you. The same people who used to joke with you, invite you out, or tag you in photos suddenly feel cautious, like they know something you don't. That's because they do. Women rarely disconnect from a man in isolation. They do it through their network. The emotional distance you feel from her starts to echo in her friend group. One by one, they begin subtly protecting her narrative. They know her complaints, her confusion, maybe even her plans. But you're the last to hear any of it. She's already started reframing the story of your relationship in their eyes, not with lies, but with half-truths, carefully arranged to make her transition look justified. He's a good man, but we've grown apart. He's just not emotionally available. I don't feel like myself anymore. These phrases sound innocent, but they're psychological primers. They prepare her friends to see her as the one who's evolving, not escaping. Gossip detail. A mutual friend might slip and say, "She's been talking a lot about change lately. Wants a fresh start." You'll laugh it off, pretending it means a new haircut or job, but deep down, something twists. Because you know she's changing all right, just not with you. Psychologically, this is social mirroring. When a woman uses her social circle to validate her internal shift before making it real. Her friends become her emotional rehearsal audience. If they nod in approval, her doubts vanish. And once she's rewritten the story with their support, there's no going back. The social distance grows quickly. You stop being invited to events. Group chats go quiet. The inside jokes that once included you now have new names, new faces. You're being edited out of her community, the same way she's been emotionally editing you from her heart. And the cruelest detail, her friends will treat you kindly, too kindly. The soft smiles, the careful words, the "how are you holding up?" It's sympathy, not warmth. They already know the ending, and they're pitying the man who hasn't read the last page yet. By the time you sense it fully, it's already done. Her circle has accepted her future, one that doesn't include you. But it's not the friends you need to worry about, because once she's rewritten the social story, the next sign is far quieter, the calm that feels peaceful, until you realize it's the sound of goodbye. Sign 8, she looks calm, but her energy is gone. You think she's at peace. She's not arguing, not sighing, not even distant in an obvious way. She's just quiet. The chaos is gone, the tension's lifted, and the air around her feels strangely still. But it's not peace, it's emotional flatlining, the point where love no longer stirs anything inside her. She's not calm because she's healed. She's calm because she's finished. She still smiles when you walk into the room, but it's automatic, like muscle memory. She still says goodnight, but her voice is soft in the wrong way. Not gentle, just absent. You can feel it when she hugs you. Her body's there, but her energy isn't. It's like holding a photograph. Familiar, but lifeless. This is the most deceptive phase because it feels safe. No more conflict, no more worry, no more guessing games. You think you've finally reached understanding. But what you've actually reached is her emotional exit strategy. This is how women leave without walking out the door. Gossip detail. Her coworker might say, "She seems so peaceful lately, like she's finally herself again." Her friends will comment on how balanced she looks. They'll mistake emotional shutdown for emotional strength. And she'll let them, because she's not lying. She does feel lighter. That's what happens when you stop carrying a connection that no longer feeds you. Psychologically, this is emotional numbing. When a woman detaches fully, her nervous system stops responding to emotional triggers tied to you. It's self-protection at the biological level. She's not angry anymore. Anger means she still cared. This is worse. This is indifference wrapped in serenity. You'll notice she spends longer in her routines. Long baths, solo drives, time thinking. She's rehearsing solitude and feeling relief in it. You'll feel it most when something goes wrong. When she doesn't rush to comfort you, doesn't offer advice, doesn't react. That's when it hits you. Her peace isn't shared anymore. It's private. And here's the cruel part. This is when many men relax. You stop worrying because everything seems calm. But calm doesn't always mean close. Sometimes it means you've finally stopped mattering enough to disturb her. You'll reach for her one night, and she'll respond kindly. But her eyes won't flicker, her body won't lean in. She's there, but she's already gone. And once that energy fades, there's only one thing left for her to do. Rewrite the story, so she never has to feel it again. Sign 9. She starts rewriting history. By now, her calm has turned into distance, and that distance needs a story. Because no woman can truly walk away until she justifies why. So she starts rewriting the past, not with malice, but with precision. One conversation at a time, one memory at a time, she edits your shared history until it sounds like a mistake she outgrew. You'll hear it in small rewrites first. "We were good for a while," she'll say, as if those years were temporary. I guess we just wanted different things, she'll add, erasing the effort, the laughter, the love that once kept you together. The narrative isn't cruel, it's tidy. That's how emotional detachment stays clean. Soon, the memories you thought were sacred start to sound downgraded. The trip you saved for becomes a bit stressful. The moment she once called the happiest night of my life becomes when things started to change. It's like watching someone repaint over your favorite photograph. Same outline, but the color's gone. Gossip detail. Her close friend might slip up saying, "She told me she realized she'd been unhappy for years." That line hits like a slap, because you remember those years. The dinners, the holidays, the private jokes, all now rebranded as evidence that she stayed too long. Psychologically, this is narrative reframing. The final stage of emotional disconnection. Her mind is rewriting the past to reduce guilt. If she convinces herself that she was never truly happy, she doesn't have to feel remorse for leaving. The story becomes self-defense. And here's where faithful men get blindsided. While you're still trying to fix what's broken, she's already rewriting why it broke. You're in the middle of repair, and she's already in the epilogue. Every time she retells a memory differently, she's closing another emotional door behind her. You'll feel it in her tone, a mix of nostalgia and indifference. She'll talk about the good old days like they belong to someone else. And in her version, you're not the villain. You're just irrelevant. The love fades not with a scream, but with a shrug. By the time you realize it, it's too late to correct the story. She's already told it to herself. And believed it, because the end of love doesn't come with goodbye. It comes when she turns your history into her lesson. See you in the next video.